We're back again with a full squad and we're looking once again at a hidden attribute, and today it's temperament. Well, today's squad have no temperament. How bad will he be? Dagenham and Redbridge is today's team, and of course, as ever, we've got the 90 out of 200 current potential ability mix. We've got a wonderkid squad full of mid-journey faces, and we've got a transfer embargo till 2045, and of course all the players have transfers in 2045 to Saudi Arabia. The temperament is set at 1, as mentioned in the intro, and that's all there is to it. Without further ado, let's have a quick look at the season preview. The season preview says they're going to finish in second, but will they? Let's go to 2024 and find that out. Well. What an absolute shambles of a season that was. For those of you who can't even see, 18th, Dagenham and Redbridge, 57 points, an absolute show. I'll have to bleep that. But yes, an absolute show of a season. 18th, well, temperament might be a very important attribute. Chesterfield were champions, but who cares? Another season in the Vanarama National League. Season preview is saying 20-1. And the whole Media Dream 11 is Dagenham and Redbridge. 1-20 is the odds. They're going to go up as champions. Harry Watling is in charge because the manager's, well, Ben Strevens got sacked. In terms of the players, well, they've not improved great. A lot of youth players there. Not improved terrifically well. That's because they're semi-professional. Is that part of the problem? Have I made a bit of a cock-up with their semi-professional status? The players won't improve as much in the early running. Being semi-professional might be an issue, but they will become professional at some point. But that doesn't excuse the fact that the media thought they were going to finish second, and they didn't. Why might that have been? A red card there, a red card. I mean, going down to 10 men's not really an excuse. 2 red cards there. I mean, temperament is lack of temper, basically. So higher temperament, or lower temperament, sorry, would be very, Roy Keane-ish on the pitch. And we've got quite a few red cards, but very rarely do we have more than one. And even without red cards, they're not doing great, are they? So it is what it is. They will take on a bit of a different journey, this experiment, then, because normally we're going to get promoted and it happens. And then, professional status will happen as soon as we get into League 2. But how long will it take to get to League 2? I mean, the media think we're going to finish first by a country mile. So I'd like to think that we will, and then become professional, and then it's done. First season's a bit of a whitewash, but that being said, we've still actually improved a couple of them over 110, loads in the hundreds. So, that's actually quite interesting to note that without training, they're still improving quite a lot because of the game time. Let's go to 2025. Okay, so we have won the league this time. 24 points clear on 106, 82 points for Rochdale, who won in the playoffs. And that's a little bit more like it, isn't it? Top goal scorer was Dagenham Redbridge, centre forward 3 with 18. Not the best. Dipo Akinyemi with 17. Managing a lot of these experiments because we always end up in the Vanarama National League. Player of the season was Dagenham Red Winger 2. Oh, yes. In terms of the squad, then we've got quite a few in the 120s, loads in the 1-teens. And of course, Dagenham and Redbridge will now be professional as they've entered into League 2. And the media prediction is 1-91. Entire Media Dream 11 is Dagenham and Redbridge players. So without further ado, we're going to go straight to 2026. 10 points clear. Dagenham and Redbridge have been promoted once more. Top goal scorer again. Dagenham Red centre forward 3. He is representing. And he is at 134 current ability. Speaking of current ability, the team, well, he's the best at 134. We've got 2 more in the 130s at 130. Loads in the 120s and a few in the 1-teens, a couple yet to break through. No youth team for Dagenham and Redbridge. Temperament has remained at 1. So that leads me to think that temperament is a very difficult attribute to change. Because we're 3 years in now, about to be 4 years in. We're in League 1 with Dagenham and Redbridge. The season preview states 1-167, which is huge, despite the fact that 3 of the players in the Media Dream 11 are not for Dagenham and Redbridge, which makes me wonder why were the odds only 1-91 last season when we had the entire Media Dream 11? But who takes much notice of these odds at the start of the season? If he says you're going to finish 8th, you're like, I'll do better than 8th. You never look at the media predictions and go, that's where we'll finish. Although you do look at the Media Dream 11 and maybe poach some players from different leagues. Well, I certainly do. Anyway, especially when you're in the lower leagues, going looking at Ireland, Wales, all that. Anyway, that's transfer tips in the middle of an experiment from someone who you very rarely see play the game, who hasn't even played it that much this season. I don't even think, genuinely, still on my lead save. Not even finished season 2. Pitiful. Can't find the time. Anyway, what am I waffling about? It's 2026. On to 2027 we go. And this time, while it's loading, why don't you subscribe to the channel? Well, it wasn't champions, but it was promotion. Missing out on the league title by a singular point. However, did finish ahead of Birmingham, also by a singular point. And in 46 games, we scored 53 goals. I mean, the top goal scorers were Birmingham on 65. What a low-scoring division this was. Harry Watling, you defensive-minded mofo. Very disappointing. Very disappointing with the amount of goals that they scored. Especially from you, Dagon Red centre-forward 3. What did you finish on for the season? 11! 11! Your top goal scorer. Well, was he top goal scorer? I don't know. But the most prolific striker for the previous 2 seasons, he's only got 11 in League 2. And he's at 143 now, where we are in the 130s and 140s. And the 120s. I mean, is Temperament having that much of an effect? Or is it the training facilities? Because the training facilities are not great, are they? We have seen in previous experiments that the coaches don't really matter. Do the training facilities. I think that's something that's going to be coming very soon. But look at that. But that's not for me to start talking about now. That's for future Jay to prep and get ready for the channel. But if that kind of stuff is the kind of thing that you want to see, make sure you are subscribed. That's the second plea and the third attempt of the video. So yeah, I beg. 10,000 subscribers is a huge goal. And we are still a very long way away. So for the 74 of you watching this, if you could subscribe, it'd mean a lot. So the championship is a sticking point in previous Football Manager simulations. In these kind of experiments, the championship, sometimes the first season in the Vanarama National League does trip us up, and it did this time around, and we finished 18th, which might be the lowest so far. The championship, as we rise through the leagues, League 2 and League 1 are pretty much back-to-back promotions after the Vanarama National League. The championship can trip us up, and considering we just finished second in League 2, they think we're going to finish in the playoffs. We have one player in the Media Dream 11, and it is Winger 2. There he is, Winger 2. And he is at 140 out of 200. Well, we're in the championship. I don't think we're going to go up this season. So on to 2028 we go. And we actually did get in the playoffs. We got 6th, which is actually much higher than I thought. I thought we'd finish in the top half, and that would be it, to be perfectly honest. Well, not bad at all. The season preview, though, now thinks we're going to win the league, and we've got quite a few players in the Media Dream 11. Of course, Temperament is still at 1, and yeah, few in the 150s and loads in the 140s, few in the 130s. We are looking at 22 years old. I'm not that impressed. The facilities haven't been improved, and they've brought in someone who, I mean, he had a bit of a temper on him, didn't he? Old Patrick Vieira. So he'll get the best out of the players, the worst out of the players. He'll get the red cards out of the players. Let me tell you that for free. When did he come? Managers. 232 days ago, because Harry Watling was sacked due to the club's poor league position, one would expect. Yeah, there you go. Just the club's poor league position as he was in October. Deary me. He's the manager of Bolton now. So 232 days. Yeah, he lost to Sunderland convincingly. 7-2 on aggregate. Not that many red cards. I mean, 2 there. The goalkeeper was sent off. You don't often see that. Oh, there we go. Another red card. Most league goals by a player is 88 for Dagon Red centre forward 3. So in terms of the discipline, it's not actually been too bad with 1 Temperament. Maybe we'll need to do 1 Temperament with like 20 aggression and 20 dirtiness for the dirtiest squad experiment. That could be quite fun. Well, we are not. We are just planning future experiments. So these kinds of experiments do not do the bigger numbers on the channel, ladies and gentlemen. They probably do maybe 50, 60% of what some of the other ones do. But these are, in my opinion, quite interesting. And I really enjoy doing them. So that's why I keep doing them. You do get all right views. And for those of you who are watching, you have got a bit of a sneak peek into what is going to be coming in the future. You guys are ITK, aka In The Know. What an exclusive little club that is. Need someone to put it in the comments. So anyway, Bolton are in the Championship. Bloody Harry Watling is manager of a division rival. Yes, scumbag. Hope you get relegated. So, can we go up? Favourites to go up. Can we? 2029? We did. We went up as champions by 10 points, which is absolutely phenomenal. Patrick Vieira still in the job. Plenty of players in the 150s and a few in the 140s. That's all right. It's not the best for the Premier League, though, is it? Not the best for the Premier League, but it's probably enough. The facilities haven't been improved. They've got a little bit of money. They've got a transfer embargo. They can't spend it on that. They've got no gate receipts, you see. Capacity, 8,500. The Chigwell Construction Stadium in Dagenham. In terms of the season preview, well, the media think we're actually going to finish 11th. 150 to 1 to win the league. That's not going to happen. No one in the media dream 11 yet. But they think we're going to finish mid-table. Well, can we? Let's go to 2030. Well, we've gone down on goal difference, ladies and gentlemen. 30 points for us, Leeds and Aston Villa. All three on 30 points. Burnley on 29 and Everton up on 38. Well, the last game of the season, it was all to play for. We lost 1-0 to Arsenal, who eventually won the league. They'd already won the league by this point, though, so that's a bit disappointing. Aston Villa drew, which saved them. Aston Villa's draw saved them. Because Leeds lost, who came down with us, and Burnley also drew 0-0 with Fulham. Omari Kellyman kept Aston Villa in the division, and he's wanted by Liverpool. Not bad. Okay, so we're back in the Championship. Thomas Frank is in charge. Thomas Frank. We've got 170, 160s, and 150s. We're in the Championship. The season preview, well, season preview says we are going up as champions. Let's see if that's right. There we go. By 2 points ahead of Leeds Luton, winning the playoffs, and we are back in the Premier League. This time the season preview says 7th. We're going to get Conference League qualification, according to the media. Look at this. Europa League football for Villa, Forest and Leicester. It's a Conference League win if I've ever seen one. There we go. Nottingham Forest winning the Conference League last season. Leeds run up the season before. In terms of the squad then, Thomas Frank is still in charge, of course, he's going to be. And we've stagnated. No one's improved a single attribute point. 170, 160s. Unless this was what I looked at earlier in this roundup, I believe that's what it was in the Championship. I don't think the players were good enough to improve. I don't think the Championship was good enough to make them improve further from where they were. Unless I've just made an absolute catastrophic error and I've already checked in on them. The training facilities and youth facilities have been upgraded exponentially, doubled. They were at 5 before, they're now at 11, so more than doubled. Excuse me. And it's 2031. Well, let's go to 2035. We're going to go 4 more years. Their players will be 29. They should be at their peak. Will anyone be at 200? Temperament's still at 1. We will also be, hopefully, still in the Premier League. We've got caps for England as well over here. The left back is capped 20 times. And a few caps elsewhere. We should have lots of caps by the time we come back in 2035 as well. Well, we exceeded the media predictions by finishing 6th instead of 7th. Aston Villa up there as well. 2 teams battling it out for relegation the season, a couple of seasons before. Unfortunately, Leeds, who are also in that mix, also went down as the bottom team this season. That's unfortunate. And then we got the Europa League football in 6th, and the following season we finished 9th, but we got Champions League football, which means we've won the Europa League. Thomas Frank probably was still in charge. Europa League football for Aston Villa, who won the Conference League. Well, look at that. Someone win the Champions League? Let's hope so. Then we got Champions League football again, this time finishing 5th, and now we've finished 3rd, getting Champions League football. Well, we do have a Europa League to our name, and Pep is in charge. Thomas Frank resigned just under a year ago. He's gone to become the manager of England. That's absolutely fine. I do not begrudge you that, Thomas. I'm surprised we've got Pep. Pep decided to leave PSG where he was winning pretty much everything. He'd won everything. He'd won the Champions League, he'd won the French League, he'd won the French Cup. He's now come to Dagenham and Redbridge, which I think we can all say is probably the career move that's going to happen. I think Pep probably will go to PSG at some point, and then at some point, maybe in the 2030s like this, he probably will end up at Dagenham and Redbridge. That's almost nailed on. So, are we predicting the future? I think so. Joking aside, the Premier League is as follows. We were in third the most recent season. The season preview thinks we're actually going to be second. We've got quite a few players in the Media Dream 11, and we are looking at a squad full of superstars. 2 at 198, another one at 194. We've got 3 at 182, a 180, a few in the 170s, 1 in the 160s at 166. And a few in the 150s, and as we move down, Dagenham and Redbridge sent about 4 at 94 current ability. He has literally played 19 times in his entire career. I'll give him the fact that a lot of them were starts. But they have made it to a very good standard, yet they're not winning trophies. So temperament, for me, I think, is very important. Wouldn't you agree? We shall see how we get on. We've won Europa League, and now Pep's at the wheel. In the next 5 years, if Pep stays, I'm expecting everything. Champions League, FA Cup, League Cup, and Premier League. No, I said League Cup, I said a Carabao Cup. Force of habit, I suppose. Trip down memory lane. Of course, we are entering into their 30s, so we will be struggling. I think they've only got 2 or 3 years to potentially do it, although it depends how much they fall off. And that's why we do have the transfer embargo up until 2045 when the players leave. Because it's always good to see how they grow, but it's also very interesting to see, one, how they depreciate in terms of current ability, but then how bad the team does as a result of that. Because sometimes current ability can drop quite drastically, but the team can perform quite well together still. So I think it's very interesting to see the rise and the fall. And then we do the little sim on at the end when they've got a bit of money to see if they can rebuild. Of course, anyway, so here we were in 2035 and it was 3rd place. And the following season was 3rd place again. Newcastle getting their hands on the Premier League trophy. And then we were 4th, and then 5th, and then 2nd, and then 4th. So we haven't won the league. Pep's still there. We have won an FA Cup in 2037-38, beating Tottenham in the final. We lost in the final to Brighton as well. No Carabao Cups. Portsmouth get into the final against Arsenal. They're in League One currently. Vincent Kompany's at Manchester City. Well, no Champions Leagues for us either. The Europa League was back there. We've not been in the Conference League much, so we haven't really had a chance to win it. So unfortunately, we are, as it stands, probably not going to win a Premier League. Probably not going to win many trophies at all, which for the players that we had and the ability that we had, it's a bit of a shame, isn't it? Now, some of you in the comments might say the semi-professional status at the beginning did hamper us somewhat. And it probably did. It had 2 years worth of semi-professional training, and the players probably were a little bit worse than what they should have been. That being said, we did get quite a few into the 190s and over 180s, which is more than enough to go and win multiple trophies. And we have not, despite the fact we've got one of the best managers on the game. As you can see, loads of caps over here, 103 for the centre-back. If we go and have a quick look at England, Eddie Howe is in charge. Kobbie Mainoo is vice-captain. He's had a boost in recent times. The winter update, I believe. No trophies, though. Switzerland won a World Cup. We've come runner-up there. And the Euros. 2 for Portugal, 2 for France. 2 runners-up for England, either side of Netherlands and Serbia, sandwiched in the middle. Okay, we are in the Premier League. The media thinks we're going to finish in 5th. I don't think we've got any trophies in us. On to 2045 we go. We were in 4th. And the following season, down in 11th, we really fell off the face of the earth. 11th again, so back-to-back seasons we were 11th. I think Pep would have been sacked. Just avoiding relegation by a point in the 42-43 season. Not so impressive in the 43-44 season. 1 win, 9 points. And we beat Norwich, who also went down. No administration to sort of backdoor ourselves out of and say, well, that was crap. That was horrific. Temperament has shafted us. Temperament's such an important attribute then. And in 44-45, we've got to go down to the Championship. We've relegated again. Bloody hell, 33 points. Only 6 wins this time. Only ahead of Peterborough by, well, 13 points to be fair. We've got a lot more draws, but dearie me. Dearie me. Ali McCann is in charge. Their managers, well, what has happened? Well, Pep got sacked. And we had Paul Konchesky, who was an interim. Mikel Arteta came in, was sacked. Former England manager Eddie Howe came in and was sacked. Hassan Bangura, Mikel Oyarzabal, and we forgot to do Ralph. I forgot to do Ralph Watch. Bloody hell. It's all gone Pete Tong, hasn't it? The players are, well, look at that. They're awful. How bad are they? 150 for the best player, 140 for 2 of them, 130, 120s. How many of them are not only below 100, but below where they started at 90? Temperament still at 1. They've not improved one jot. Still plenty of caps for loads of them. Over 100 caps for 4 individual players. 95 for this one here as well. Doubt England won any trophies. 40 and 44, and they've won in 42. So, okay, they did. In 2040, they've won the Euros. Dagenham red winger. Oh, so a few of them were playing. So they have actually won some trophies with England. Not sure how many though. Anyway, yeah, pretty abysmal to be honest. I mean, no golden balls, almost certainly. We'll double check that. Yeah, there you go. No golden balls. It was the Kylian Mbappe show until he probably upped and buggered off. Lamine Yamal came in for basically doing quite well. Mitsuru Takizawa, who has not only done very well, is still doing very well. He's a bit of a demon for Newcastle. Boris Paunovic is the current Ballon d'Or holder. And I can see why. 194. Fair play buzzer. Player of the year? Yeah, no one. Football of the year? Again, not surprised to see no one. Team of the year won't have anyone in it either because they've been crap, haven't they? Absolutely abysmal. They're in League One. They're off to Saudi Arabia. How are they doing for money? You got 880 million. They're about to get a load more money. They've got great facilities in youth recruitment. So let's go forward and see how they've managed to rebuild. So they've actually got up into the Championship. At the first time of asking, they finished first in League One and they were finished 20th. They slowly built themselves back up till they got automatically promoted. They came straight back down. They got promoted again and they've just survived 2 seasons in a row, 16th and 17th. The club has got fantastic facilities still. They've still got a best part of £1 billion, to be fair. In 14 years, they've not really spent that much money. They're a Premier League side with what can only be described as, well, to be honest, wages that are far exceeding their ability. I mean, look at this geese. I mean, he's 32. Luke Pritchard is on £235,000 a week with that haircut for a start and that ability. 275 for Jensen Duas. And he can't even afford to get rid of his monobrow. Bloody hell. Any advance on 275? No. No advance on 275. Well, they are in the Premier League. They've just finished 17th. They've avoided relegation on goal difference. Wrexham up in the Premier League. Oh my God, Charlton have just gone down on 9 points as well. This time winning no games. Bloody hell, Charlton, you unlucky sods. Wrexham up in the Premier League. Briefly. Aston Villa have won a Premier League as well in the most recent times. As have West Ham. Of course, West Ham have. West Ham always bloody win one. I think Tottenham have done very well though. And usually Tottenham do much better. That's by the by. We're off. That's it. That's the end of the experiment. Hope you enjoyed this one. Temperament then. Very important. Make sure you got players that have got decent temperament because without it, they're not going to improve very well. Or if they do improve, they're not going to perform that well and ultimately underwhelm. And they'll drop off the face of the earth very quickly in their 30s. That's all there is to say. We're off. Thank you very much for watching. Do like the video, subscribe to the channel, and let me know any ideas for experiments you have for the future, or any attributes you want me to cover in this or in the other style that we do. Yeah. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon.